They came from all over the South. Some drove for hours through winding roads and dusty highways. Others packed into church vans and buses, bringing along choir robes, tambourines, and hearts full of love. The sanctuary in Jackson, Mississippi, wasn't just full, it was overflowing. People stood against walls, sat on stairs, and even filled the lobby, all for one reason: Mama Mosie Burks. But this wasn't a concert. Not this time. People didn't show up to hear her sing. They came to say thank you. From the moment the organ started to play, slow and soft, the atmosphere changed. You could feel it in your chest. This wasn't a typical service. It wasn't a revival. It felt wholly sacred. The kind of gathering where you just knew you were part of something unforgettable. The Mississippi Mass Choir entered first. They were dressed perfectly, their faces serious, their voices rising like a wave. The music didn't feel like a performance. It felt like prayer. Every note seemed to wrap around the crowd like a warm blanket of comfort and reverence. Then something shifted. A hush spread through the room as a wheelchair slowly rolled down the center aisle. It was Mama Mosie, now in her late 80s. Her signature white hat was tilted just right. Her hands were folded gently in her lap. She didn't say a word, but her presence alone filled the space. People stood instinctively. Some reached toward her. Others cried openly, without embarrassment. The choir stopped singing. The organ faded. All that remained was the sound of the room holding its breath. This was the woman who had once turned the gospel song "I'm Not Tired Yet" into a powerful anthem for anyone clinging to faith in hard times. She didn't just sing gospel, she was gospel. She never chased fame, but somehow, the spotlight always found her. Her story wasn't glamorous. She was raised in poverty, dealt with loss from an early age, and lived a life full of challenges. But through it all, she never lost her fire. She walked with the strength of someone who had fought life's battles and won not through force, but through praise. Whenever she held a microphone, whether in a mega church or a small revival tent, she didn't perform. She shared her truth. Her voice carried pain, joy, and survival all at once. She talked openly about lonely nights and unanswered prayers that eventually found their way. That honesty made her feel more like family than a performer. So when Mama Mosie finally reached the front of the church that night, with close friends helping her stand just for a moment, something powerful broke open in the room. People cried, shouted, lifted their hands high. And then, through the silence, came her voice, soft, but still strong. "I may not be able to jump and shout like I used to," she said, "but I still got a praise in me." The church erupted. Some danced, others fell to their knees. It wasn't about how loud it got. It was about what it meant. Everyone in that space felt her spirit deeply. Then came a moment of silence. After sharing a few more words, Mosie looked around at the crowd, the choir, the stained glass windows above. She bowed her head. For 30 full seconds, the room stood still. No sound. No movement. Some said she was praying. Others believed she was overwhelmed. But many felt something deeper was happening, as if she was silently passing on something, as if she knew this could be her last time in that space. When the music started again, everything felt different. People couldn't stop watching her every breath, every glance, every slight movement. This wasn't just a tribute anymore. This was something heavier, something holy. No one wanted to say the word goodbye, but the feeling hung in the air. Maybe the crowd wasn't ready. But maybe Mama Mosie was. Whispers started even before the service ended. People huddled in corners of the church, talked softly on the steps outside, and later shared their thoughts online. Did you see how long she paused? She looked tired. But peaceful. I think that was her way of telling us it's over. No one said it directly, but the emotion was unmistakable. This could have been her farewell. The next morning, gospel Facebook pages lit up with videos from the tribute. Some showed her being wheeled down the aisle. Others captured her standing and speaking. But the clip that got shared the most was those 30 seconds of silence. One person captioned it, "The moment heaven got quiet." The comments flooded in. People described getting goosebumps. Some cried without knowing why. Others said they felt like they had just seen something eternal. A few claimed they saw a beam of light shine through the stained glass the moment she bowed her head. Then, 48 hours later, something unexpected appeared on Mama Mosie's official Facebook page, a black and white photo of her sitting alone in a pew, her head bowed, a soft ray of sunlight touching her face. No words. No explanation. It looked like the kind of image you'd see in a tribute video or on a memorial program. The post was quiet, respectful, almost too perfect. Comments exploded. This feels like a goodbye. That light looks like God's hand. But just as quickly as it was posted, the photo was deleted. That only stirred more speculation. Was it posted by mistake? Was it meant to be a gentle farewell? Or was it Mama Mosie's way of saying goodbye without actually saying the word? No one from her family or team said anything. No statements. No confirmations. Just silence. And somehow, that silence felt louder than any press release ever could. But the gospel community didn't stay quiet. Gospel legend Dorothy Norwood went live on Instagram, wiping away tears. The spirit was heavy in that room, she said. If this was her last time, she left wrapped in glory. Other artists began posting their own tributes. Dottie Peoples simply wrote, "Thank you, Mama." Tasha Cobbs Leonard reposted the video of Mosie with the microphone and added, "What a legacy. What a woman." Even younger artists who never met her shared how her songs had helped them through heartbreak, doubt, and grief. Her voice had raised people in moments when nothing else could. Radio stations took notice, too. Praise 102.5 aired a whole segment called The Mosie Moment. Callers left messages in tears, sharing how they felt something inside them stir just from watching that night. One woman said, "I cried, and I didn't even know why. Her spirit unlocked something in me." Another caller said, "She didn't say goodbye. She didn't have to. You could just feel it." There was still no official word. But nobody needed confirmation. When a voice as powerful and spiritual as Mama Mosie's begins to grow quiet, it says more than words ever could. And then, behind the scenes, quiet conversations began among gospel circles. It wasn't about another show or appearance. Word was spreading about a secret project of final recording. Not for attention, but for memory. A few close members of the Mississippi Mass Choir shared that Mosie had recorded a small, intimate session months earlier. No press, no guests. Just her, a handful of trusted musicians, and a single microphone. Her voice wasn't as strong as it used to be, but that didn't matter. It was full of heart, full of spirit. She cried between takes, one person said. Sometimes we all did. It felt like she was singing straight into heaven. Most of the songs were classics, old hymns, and gospel standards. One was a spoken word prayer she had written years ago but never recorded. And then there was one final track. Unreleased. At the end of it, she whispers, "I'm going home soon." Whether this project will ever be released remains a mystery. Some say it's being saved for the right moment. Others think it was only meant for her family and those closest to her. Either way, just knowing it exists adds depth to everything that's happened. This wasn't just a farewell night. It was the beginning of something sacred, an unspoken goodbye, a spiritual passing of the torch. And Mama Mosie? She's remained completely silent. No interviews. No social media. No public response. But that's always been her way. She never chased the spotlight. She wasn't in it for the fame. She sang to serve, not to be seen. Every word she sang was like a sermon. Every stage she stood on became a sanctuary. And now, it seems, she's chosen to leave the same way she came in, quietly, gracefully, and full of faith. A pastor who visited her recently said she wasn't sad. She wasn't scared. She told me, "If I don't sing again, I've already said enough." And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. Mosie Burks didn't just speak with music, she spoke with her life. Her songs helped people survive. Her faith made people believe again. Her presence gave people hope. And even now, in her silence, she's still speaking. Still teaching. Still reminding us what grace looks like when it's lived fully, humbly, and with unwavering truth.